stay black in America. Don't leave, don't go anywhere. Greatest country in the world for a black man or a black woman. You can make all your dreams come true here. You can become financially stable here. Um, your ancestors went through slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, prejudice, racism, redlining, all types of things created to cause you to stumble because the larger ethnic in America had a 400 year head start, and I think it burns them to the core to see some black people surpass them. You know, you figure extreme laziness to have to care for someone that had 400 years a head start to let somebody pass them. You know, so you know, you kind of got to look at that, man. It's kind of always been their power. It's always been, you know, money has always been associated with power, and power has been associated with money. So, you know, you can achieve anything you want to achieve in America. Of course, America is the #1 greatest economy in the world. Black people living in America are the 15th greatest economy in the world. So, just that alone lets you know you can move up in your own country. You can move up in economic power right here in your own country. You know, it's more important to invest in real estate here in America. 75% of Americans that have invested in real estate have become rich. It's a part of the American dream. You know, the house and the picket fence. So, you know, you can invest in homes all over the world. Everybody wants to invest in the world, but America has that standard. It has that dollar. It has all those things that you know, equip it. Black people living in America and former slaves to build this country to be as great as it is today, and the country continues to get greater. You know, of course, you had Chinese building up the train tracks, and a lot of them hooked on opium. So you know, the great ethnic in America has always been have a way to utilize other ethnics to their final goal, which is, I guess, you know, just intellectual skills and battles. Always been able to pit one against the other. Always been able to come up with the right idea. Always been able to have certain partnerships and friendships to get certain ends, certain goals done. So, man, why would you want to go somewhere else, man? Why would you want to step down in category and buy you know, a little piece of real estate somewhere in some country in some other continent, and not even sure whether a coup's gonna happen in the next 2 years, or whether your house can be burned down, whether insurance is even gonna build your house back. You know, it's like it's just to me, it's kind of you're gambling, and I never like to be one who gambles. So I wouldn't want to, me personally, I wouldn't put my real estate abroad. I wouldn't put it in Europe. I wouldn't put it in Africa. I wouldn't put it in Central America. I wouldn't put it in South America. I wouldn't put it in down there, you know, Mexico or any of the Caribbean islands. I wouldn't put my wealth or my property anywhere down there at all, because I would put it in a place where it's going to gain its maximum purpose. I mean, if your thing is just you know, want to spread yourself around, you know, you want in your mind leave some kind of great legacy because you got properties in different places that are probably not even you know worth you know, the value of whatever their currency is to pay the house, when you could easily invest in real estate here in America in places where towns have kind of like slacked up, or people moved out, and you got real estate already existing there. You know, it's like in the Bible where God told the Israelites, I'll give you a town or a city that's already built. You'll walk into the houses. Same thing here. You know, you got a lot of people struggling trying to buy homes in the inner city, when you can go out in the suburbs and get 300,000 square feet, 200,000 square foot homes for $200,000, $100,000, especially. You can even go in Baltimore City and get block homes for $50. I mean, not $50. Sorry, 50,000, 20,000, 100,000, 70,000. Just abundance of them. I mean, so you can gain those properties, rent those properties out to Department of Public Housing, rent them out to have agencies to rent them out for you, use them as Airbnbs, all types of things to make that American dollar, and also to build your wealth in real estate. Instead of spending your time taking a long plane trip overseas, you know, trying to establish yourself, find out if you're going to build a place from scratch, are they reputable? Is your electricity going to always be on? What happens if a big disaster happens over those countries? It seems like it's hard for them to rebound. So they have a disaster, and they'll be under for 50 years. You know, so you got to think about that. You got to think about all those kind of things. You go over those kind of places, you're not speaking that language. I don't care if people look just like you, or darker complexion, or light complexion, or brown complexion, or whatever they do, whatever they look like you. They definitely have a different type of upbringing than you. So, I mean, the same kind of thing where the weaker tribes were sold into slavery. All through the world, all through Western Africa, they sold a bunch of their people through slavery because they wanted to confiscate their lands. So the same thing. Some American comes there and he buys homes in Africa and everything, and then something goes down, or maybe the Chinese decide it's their turn to roll over Africa. So the first thing people are going to do is turn and point to those people, well, enslave them. We're the majority. Enslave those guys there. You're going to be the first easy picking to go in slavery because everybody gonna know who you are. I mean, everybody knows who American is and who and where you came from and your very history. So if you forget history, then you're subject to repeat history. So you might as well stay in America. You might as well get your gun license. Get your weaponry set down because America is big on gun having guns and things. You want to get that done. You want to get your properties. You want to raise your kids. The private schools are better than public schools, and some public schools are on par with some low tier private schools, and just different areas. I mean, different areas of the United States. Wouldn't it be better to live to go to work in the city? Say you're going to work in Washington D.C. and you got a house somewhere in deep Maryland suburbs, maybe 40, 50, 60 miles away. But it's low real estate, lower taxes. So you're making big money in D.C. and you're doing a commute, or you find a little room somewhere in D.C. where you stay during the week and you're going out there. That's better than some place in the world where people don't see their husbands or wives for 6 months and they go in somewhere slaving somewhere. Then they come back and put the little funds and monies down there to try to extend themselves. I mean, the same type of thing happening here in America. You see a bunch of I guess Africans coming here. I see them all over the place, and they just blend in and become a part of the American scenery, as well as the South Americans and Central Americans and everybody else, where they come from the small weak port towns in Europe or any place else. They come in, they blend. They want the American dream, and the American dream is it'll adopt you. Then you'll become Americanized pretty quickly. So I mean, keep your investments here. I mean, if I'm giving you investment information, and then you check, maybe those people were exposed to it. Will they still have within Africa? Will they still have investments in the United States? Do they still have real estate paying the money in the United States? Do they still have a place to run to back in the United States if something were to happen devastating in Africa? Or would they just run to another place in Africa? Or just what? Because a lot of people, a lot of Afro-Americans here in America, which of course we haven't got the reparations that we should have gotten in 1865 or after the emancipation in 1863. So you got a lot of Americans who have just suffered tremendously because of the economic resistance for them, getting themselves strong and powerful. And so if you got 45 million black Americans over here, you might have half those black Americans couldn't travel abroad anyway. So I mean, the crowd that is talking about going to Africa is picking a strategic part of America. They're picking that strategic part of America that might have been more successful through all the racism and discrimination here in America. They said, hey, try Africa. Go ahead, try this, try that, and get you over there. And I kind of think it's just people who are, who are just a lot of times intelligent black people take advantage of weaker or less intelligent black people. So if you go over there and you try to get a bunch of spots built and you get them in a bunch of cities, and you try to get the black American here in America to come there and visit, those places, and you have some place for them to stay. Hey man, I got Airbnb, you can stay. This you can stay. So you get yourself a little business, and you're looking to focus your clientele on that 45, not the 45 million, but maybe that 20 million who might have access to come to Africa and visit and see how things going as tourists go to other places in the world. Maybe you get it on the tourism side. So you tell them, come to Africa. You want a place where nobody's going to discriminate you on the color of your skin and again give you all these things that might sound good to you, but here in America, most of the killings amongst the black people are black people. So you go into a place where there's all black people, so more likely your chances of danger might be increasing and not decreasing. You're going to the so-called motherland, man, where Well, you got the original black man there. So you got the original black man there, and like I say, it sold their neighbors and stuff in slavery all through Western Africa, all through those 14 countries in Western Africa. They sold people to slavery that looked just like them. So I mean, don't believe the hype, man. If you got any type of money like that, invest in property in the United States. Invest in those towns where they say, oh, these towns are least attractive, because what you're gonna do is what you're gonna bet on. Well, not really bet, because I'm not a gambler. But what you're going to hope is this: no matter where those towns are in America, where that property that you acquire, it's going to become more valuable than what it is when you first bought it. Since you got immigrants always coming to America from everywhere under the sun, eventually they're going to end up in your town. Your town is going to get an industry or something going to run there and hear people coming, because they want. First of all, they want to live the American dream. They're looking to buy a house. And first come to any place, you really can't buy a house, so you're going to rent. So if you got an apartment building or homes, you're going to rent, you're going to make money. So this is how black Americans will make money off other immigrants coming here. Whether it be those Haitians coming here, down in the panhandle of Texas, down there Laredo, Texas, whether it be the Afghanistans because of the long outstanding war America had, whether it be any other Middle Eastern or Asian countries, somebody, they're all trying to come here, man. So just a matter of the border control and such like that. But anybody who's a property owner or owns a business is always going to flourish because of these things. You're not going to not flourish. You're going to flourish. So why not flourish in America? If you leave, somebody's going to take your spot here. That's all it's going to be. I mean, they always say that one monkey don't stop a show, and sure enough, that's the truth. So it's been wonderful. Black, young, naive, ignorant people getting killed in the street because of drugs, and they talk about them. The people famous for putting somebody dead on their T-shirt, but they're not famous for finding a way to keep somebody alive while they're over here. So again, I say, you can free will. God gives you free will. You can run to Africa and try to buy properties, or you can go through horror stories or success stories, but you can do that in America. You can regroup a lot faster, and you can gain your wealth a lot faster. Again, you get a hold of some real estate, man. One house, two house, three house, four house, five house, condos, apartments. Pretty soon you're well over $2 or $3 million in assets, right? And then as time goes by, what happens is those assets pile up even more, and then you start almost $5 or $6 million in money. So you want to leave some legacy to your children. You leave legacy to them is get involved in real estate in the United States of America, get involved in ownership of land, get involved in being self-employed. Everything I talk about on my channel, I want black folks to get the reparations because we deserve them. Valued at about $195,000 now. I want to get that. You want to get as much real estate and land as you possibly can. This is the American dream. I mean, you're in America. So sometimes we don't realize, a lot of people, how great you actually have it here until you go someplace else and you find, oh my God, I was where I wanted to be. I see why all these people come here, because they've saw the poverty and the harsh conditions in their country. All these leaders and stuff, all these presidents, not giving nothing to the country, packing in money, not really doing much for anybody. They keep wondering, why we can't change the government? Because you're not that elite tribe that runs everything. They got so many tribes and all these different African nations. You're not amongst the elite. These elite ones were talking to the Europeans hundreds of years ago. They know things that you wouldn't know. So you talking why things not changing? They're not changing because they don't want your butt to take their place. They want to remain in power over in Africa and every place else. So, you stay in America, man, where you got the political system there set up. I mean, it takes money to win, but you got it set up for you to do pretty much anything you want to do. So I would say, man, to all those, people talking about leave and go someplace else, I would in essence call them kind of like cowards, man. You had a captive audience in the form of slaves, which was your ancestors. And those former slaves were given freedom, to fight in a war on either side because of ignorance, right? Either side, and then had to try to make their way through the wilderness and try to exist and hear talk of some jobs. They'll try to go north and try to do something, and man, just squeak out living a life. So it's no surprise to me that out of the 45 million here, is probably 20 million in poverty or having a hard time, because everybody is not going to achieve everything. Some people, if you keep stomping them down, that's where they're going to stay down. Some people, if you put them if you put a study knowing that people in poverty are going to get involved in drugs and crime and have children early, well, Well, you got a case study. If you say, well, let's take out a way for them to make money out of schools. Let's take out the trades out of schools. Let's, instead of being pipe fitters and electricians and bricklayers and carpenters and everything like that, if you take all those trades out of school, a poor man can't get those trades. He got to go to a place to pay for it. He probably can't get it anywhere. So you can keep him down in a certain category. He's still valuable to somebody. You can put him on the welfare system, lock him up in prison. Do that to them, so the prison system making money, well-fed, and the money is going around to, again, businesses and stores. If you're in business and you get your EBT thing, then you can take their EBT cards when they come there. So always seek to be self-employed. Always seek to be self-sufficient. Always working hard. I would give you advice to say work like a slave, even though you're a free man. Work like a slave when you're a free man, then more than likely poverty's not going to catch up with you. You're going to always be way ahead of poverty. You'll be lapping poverty as far as if you were in a track meet. You're in a football game. You'll be scoring 100 and poverty being 3 points. So so you want to take advantage of all the opportunities you have here in America, man. So again, people, I'm not disrespecting anybody who's telling you come to Africa or come anywhere. I'm just saying that always got to think thoroughly. Always got to think thoroughly about it. What's your end game? You coming there to do what? You coming there because you try to run away from racism? Is racism there? Is discrimination there? Is tribalism there? Is impoverished places there? It's not all people have running water. They got a big tank sitting on their house and carrying on trying to get stuff, man. Or, hey, so I'm like, put yourself through as less complications as like possible, man. Just try to succeed here in America, man. It's not a very hard formula. You can look around yourself at all your distant cousins from all over the world who come here. They come in and do what? They come in and look around and see, where can I solve a problem at? Where can I solve a problem, right? And then they get whatever jobs available, and then they start making babies. They start planning their lives. They're looking at advertising, looking at a nice car they want, looking at the home they want, looking at the apartment they want, looking at places they want to see, sending money back home to their family. That's what they're doing. So you're right here in a place where everything is happening, and you think you're poor, but you're richer than 90% of the world. A lot of people, man, don't have hardwood floors or cement floors to sleep on, man. They're sleeping on dirt floors. A lot of people don't have air conditioning heating. They're dealing with the elements, man, just like nature out there, dealing with the elements. So modern technology hasn't caught up to most of the country. So you're here in America, man, and a person on welfare in America live better than a person, most people in the whole entire world. You wouldn't know because you haven't been nowhere, right? So you really shouldn't be depressed and thinking, oh, I'm poor, I'm ghetto. You're on a lower tier scale as far as America is concerned, but as far as the world is concerned, you're way up there. So, hey, man, opportunities are here. So I say, opportunities are here in the United States of America. Don't stretch out, don't run somewhere else. No greater country for a black man or black woman. The ancestors have been to all types of even Reconstruction showed that black people could achieve anything they want to achieve here. They had proper protection. When protection is gone, it's more like what? It's like a little mini wars going on. It's almost like when you go someplace else, little mini wars. So this particular time, man, America, become what you want to become, man. You see these people, there's ethnics coming over here, and they come here, man. They're taking advantage of college bills. They get grants and going to college. They're meeting friends and they're trying to meet people who are economically more sound than themselves, so they have partnerships and friendships and going through years and years. And you're sitting here thinking about the white man this, the white man that, man. There's an abundance of white people in America who are Christians, who love God, who don't have a racist bone in their body. Of course, there are millions of them that do, but they're picking the ones that they're making friendships with. They're picking ways to succeed. So in other words, they're in America and they're outthinking you in your own country, because it was a conscious plan to come to America and a conscious view what someone told them of the opportunities available. So you're sitting right in your house and what can I do? Well, what you can do is try to be proactive, be successful, find out what the need is, solve the need, whether it's the hospitals, whether it's old folks' homes, whether it's auto repair, whether it's body repair, or you make money with cars, homes, land, everything, anything social, you're gonna make money. Whether you're fixing roofs, whether you're putting action heating in, whatever you're doing, you're gonna be very successful, make money. Especially if you become good at what you're doing and your price is very good. So, hey, look, stay black in America. Don't go anywhere. Don't believe the hype. greatest place in the world for a black man or black woman. You can achieve all your dreams. Subscribe to my channel, because what I'm trying to do here in my channel is I'm definitely trying to work to get reparations, which would be valued at somewhere at $195,000. I'm definitely working so that black people become self-employed and think about all the opportunities they have becoming self-employed, so to get rid of that big unemployment gap we have between whites and blacks. So that such thing, and home ownership and properties, man. You want to gain all that, man. So it's this dream of mine to see black people be very successful over here in America and thriving. Not as the Bible say the tail, but the head. So subscribe to my channel. Stay black in America. Until next time, opportunity here.